What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the show. For many of you, you may not be aware that I was a financial advisor for 16 plus years. Started off with a smaller regional firm. That firm was then purchased, which ended up becoming Wells Fargo. After that, I ended up leaving, co-founding an investment firm, and then eventually founding my own wealth management firm, which I have since sold at the time of this recording. But I can remember early on in my career, I had a really good friend who was a photographer. He was starting his photography business, had a decent clientele, but was still trying to grow and grow and grow. At the same time, he'd also started investing into a Roth IRA because of my advice, because I loved the Roth IRA. I still love the Roth IRA. And I was proud that he also listened to my advice and he was putting money into his Roth IRA. But he reached a very crucial step in his business where he recognized that he needed to invest into more equipment if he truly wanted to be a successful photographer and compete with all the other photographers in the area. So he came to me, he's like, I know that you love the Roth IRA and I love the Roth IRA, but I need to buy some cameras, I need to buy some backdrops, I need to invest into my business. And up until then, I had been trained, brainwashed. Maybe I drank too much of the financial advisor Kool-Aid where, it's investing into mutual funds. It's investing for the long term. Like that's what's truly going to make you wealthy. But the more I thought about it and the more that I realized that if he truly wanted to make money, not just in the short term, but also in the long term, then reinvesting or investing into his business was actually going to make him a lot more. As you can tell, this was so in the beginning of my entrepreneurial journey where I didn't fully understand that that is one way that you make wealth. But when you are a small business owner, when you are a business owner, the way that you build wealth, the way that you make money is you reinvest into your own business. And that really got me thinking because I wasn't the only financial advisor that had been trained, that had been brainwashed to convince all of their clients that the only real way to make money, to build wealth, to have a comfortable nest egg at retirement was investing for the long term. But thankfully, I recognize now, that's not the only way. Let me be clear. The point of sharing this message with you is not telling you that you need to go out and open a Roth IRA right now. But I would say if you don't have one, you definitely should consider it. But chances are if you have talked to a financial advisor or if you've talked to someone who is working with a financial advisor, then chances are you are hearing some of the same advice that they are sharing because for many of them, it's a broken record. The point of this is to give you a different perspective. Somebody that was in the industry, that drank the industry Kool-Aid and now taking a step out and I have a newer, fresh perspective on giving some advice that you need to do if you truly want to build wealth. And chances are that your financial advisor isn't going to share these with you. So here are the 9 things that you need to know. And just as a caveat, I am sure that there are some good financial advisors out there. Actually, I am certain there are good financial advisors that are talking this stuff, preaching this stuff. But there are several others out there that they are more concerned about how they can get your money, how they can become your financial advisor to get your assets under management so that they can get paid. That is just how the industry works. So because of that, they would rather play nice to you. They would rather not speak truth to you and not advise you on some of these things. So the first one is saving money on vehicles, whether that is telling you not to purchase a new car or telling you that you can't afford this car payment or that you have no business even driving the cars that you do. And this is something I shared in a previous, it was a blog post. It was also a video. You can find it on YouTube where I shared the wealth killer formula. And this is something that I learned from personal experience by driving back in the day after I graduated college, a 1998 Chevy Lumina that my grandmother had that was passed down to me. And because I drove this Lumina while I was starting my career, which you can imagine, I'm a financial advisor wearing the shirt and tie, trying to look the part, and I am driving my grandmother's old car. And that is something that the pride I had to swallow and just surrender. But because I was driving this car that was paid off, there was no payment whatsoever, I was able to make it as a financial advisor because I wasn't making anything. Starting my first year, I remember 1 month, I think my take-home pay after everything, taxes and health insurance, was like $800 and some. And the only reason I was able to make it because I was driving this Lumina, had no car payment, and I could get by living like I was still in college. I definitely had a college budget at the time. But not only was I able to make it financially, it also allowed me to start funding that Roth IRA that I talked about that I love so much. I also was able to put money in my 401k. And that one simple financial decision, driving a paid off car, a paid off grandmother's car, that set me up so far ahead that I've wrote a blog post where driving that Lumina made me at least $2 million. I'm actually going to do an update where, I think that thing has made me over $10 million, if not even more. And this is just something that many financial advisors don't want to tell you because they don't want to make you angry and they just want you to become and stay their client. All right, the second thing that financial advisors don't want to tell you is that you can't afford this house, or maybe you got no business buying a house because you don't have enough. Like, yeah, you got a good job. Yeah, you're making a decent wage, but they're just not going to tell you that, no, you shouldn't buy that house. That is $20,000, $50,000, $100,000 more. And maybe I just was surrounded by some pretty crummy advisors in my career, but I very seldom saw them speak truth in some of these people's lives, just telling them like, no, you can't afford that. Like, I understand that you want to live the American dream, but you have no business buying a new house when you've got your cars that you can barely pay. Like, stick to the rental, like keep renting. Living the American dream does not always mean that you have to have the big perfect home with the white picket fence. And the third thing really just plays into the first two, but telling their clients that, hey, stop buying crap. Stop wasting your money on your kids' birthday parties. Like, I just talked to someone here recently that they spent, it was over $1,000 on their kids' like 5th birthday party because they had a few different ponies and like a horse and all this other stuff. It's like, you spent what? Like, most likely your kid's not even going to remember any of that other than the pictures that you have saved for them. But I see so many people buying crap. And I remember I had one client in particular, which really ties in to the first point about saving money on cars and also not buying crap. But he had just recently retired and he wanted to take out, he wanted to basically buy a brand new Chevy Denali truck. Not used, not pre-owned. No, it was brand new. And he wanted to use money out of his 401k to purchase it. And we ran through the numbers that he hadn't fully retired yet, so he still had wages. He still had income from his job. So let's say, for example, that he had made like $40,000 before he retired. Now he wanted to pull out another 50. I think the car cost, like the truck was like $55,000, $60,000. Well, you got paid for taxes on top of that. So this brand new truck was going to cost him, it was like $85,000. Like, that's ridiculous. I'm grateful that I was able to tell him, no, you're not going to do that. I'm not gonna allow you to buy crap, waste money on a brand new truck when you just started retirement. Okay, number 4 is saving a percentage of your income. And I know what you're already thinking. What financial advisor doesn't recommend that their client saves a percentage of their income? Well, All of them should, but what most of them are not recommending is to save a significant part of your income, a significant percentage. Because typically what you'll hear is, save enough to get the match in your 401k. And if you can max out your 401k, that's great. If you have the ability to put money in a Roth or traditional IRA, that's also awesome. But what you aren't hearing is, how about saving 20, 30, 50, 70% of your income? Like, for most people, that is just absurd. But for those that are familiar with the FIRE movement, that is a very common percentage that you hear for people that want to retire early. I was reading this article on Business Insider, and it shared that the average American has $40,000 in savings. And this was according to a survey done by the Federal Reserve. But this was back in 2016 when we weren't dealing with a pandemic. So I'm going to assume that number is a whole lot lower. And seeing how many people are struggling because they got laid off and they've been waiting for this stimulus check to arrive and a second stimulus check to get passed, and they are struggling. But for a advisor to say, hey client, you need to save 70% of your income, even 50%, being the fact that most of them don't say that, they're gonna look at you like you are absolutely insane, and they're gonna go to another advisor that's gonna say, oh no, you're putting in your 401k, oh, that's good, you're going to be totally fine. And the reason they don't say anything is just because it's just not traditional. Traditional is you work until you're 60, 65, you retire, you take Social Security, and then you've got your golden nest egg and you go to the golf course or get a home in Florida, and then you call it a day. And for many advisors, they just want to play it safe. They just want to make their clients feel good, and they don't want to talk to them about extreme savings to help them accomplish financial independence, financial freedom at such an early age. Number 5 is something I don't think I've ever heard another financial advisor share to their client, but this is work your butt off now. And this is primarily speaking to all you Gen Y millennials out there that are still working, still starting your career. But very seldom do I see any advisor saying, right now, put the time in. If that means that you are working 20 hours of overtime to build your career, to build your experience, to move up the corporate ladder, or if that's not your goal or your desire, starting a side hustle, starting something on the side that is creating extra income. I've never saw any advisor having those types of conversations with any of their clients, because I know when I started my side hustles, it was initially I started with multi-level marketing. And that is a whole other show that I could talk about that. That was my first thing. Then it was real estate. And I remember a former financial advisor telling me that stop wasting my time with that stuff. Focus on my business, and I'll have more money than I'll ever need. And yeah, there was a lot of truth to that. But had I listened to that person's advice, then I never would have went down the path of starting the blog, which is a long journey of why I am here recording this, sharing this information with you. Number 6 plays into what I discussed earlier, talking about how most advisors want you to invest with them. That's because they're going to get paid a commission if they sell you some sort of investment product, or if they are getting a fee based off the assets that they manage, the more that they have managed or held with them, the more that they're going to make. So they are not going to encourage you to take money and invest elsewhere, especially if that's investing outside of them in another investment firm. That's kind of a gimme, but I don't hear them talking about investing into your education. And this could be going back to school. This could be getting your college degree. This could be getting another degree. This could be getting your MBA. This could be getting some sort of online certification. This also plays into the next point, and that is investing in yourself. This is a couple years ago now, actually several years ago now, where I invested, I look at it as an investment, but it was a coaching program. And this was the most amount of money that I had ever invested into anything like this. But it was just under $9,000. I think it was $8,900 for an entire year. I couldn't even imagine going to a financial advisor saying, hey, thinking about investing into this coaching program, but I need to pull money out of my investment account. What do you think about that? I could just hear all of the rebuttals and all the reasons why that wouldn't make me nearly as much as putting that into this mutual fund or this ETF or into this managed platform. And it's funny because looking back and looking at that investment, that coaching program, I made probably the most amount of money from that coaching program than any of my investments. And that even includes buying Facebook stock when it was below $20 a share. Even that, which has made me a lot. I mean, the rate of return on that is pretty amazing. Just really, really good timing. But the rate of return that I made off that coaching program, I mean, I was able to track it somewhat. I was just looking at, man, because of this coaching program, it led to this business opportunity, or led to me not doing this, outsourcing this, delegating this, not pursuing this business venture. And I can look back at all these different opportunities that have made me hundreds of thousands of dollars, not thousands of dollars, not like 2x or 3x return. I'm talking hundreds of thousands of dollars. I will tell you that the Facebook stock that I bought, I mean, it's made me, I think, over $100,000, maybe a couple $100,000, but not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, that is a huge difference. And if a financial advisor is not going to encourage you to invest into yourself, then they're definitely not going to encourage you to do number 8, and that is to venture into entrepreneurship. I mean, I would say as a financial advisor, it's kind of hard knowing, is this person qualified? You know, does this person have what it takes to become an entrepreneur? But it kind of goes just back to, encouraging someone to have a side hustle, to, especially when you are younger. Even if you only have, one kid, maybe 2 kids, like, that is still the time that you have extra time. I mean, this is coming from the Gen Xer. I'm in my early 40s. I've got 4 kids and I still got a lot of energy, but man, it's still exhausting taking care of the 4 kids, taking care of our 2 puppies, taking care of everything that has to do with our household and also my businesses. I am not as spry. I am not the spring chicken like I used to be. So I require a lot more rest, a lot more chance to recover. But man, I look back when I was in my late 20s, even my early 30s, where I could work. I could go to work at the office 8 hours, come back, take care of the kids, take care of the family, and then for the next 3 to 4 hours, like, work on my blog or work on my YouTube channel or work on whatever project that was. I just had a little bit more energy than I do now. So right now, if this is you and you are younger and you've got those ideas, like, now is the time to pursue. And that's why I love the idea of starting an online business. I mean, this could be a Shopify store, it could be Amazon FBA, starting a blog. Obviously, that is the thing that I am super passionate about. And if you are interested in starting a blog, you can sign up for our free email series that shows you how to start a blog and the path to make your first $1,000. You can go to make1kchallenge.com to sign up for that free email series. Once again, that is make1kchallenge.com. But I just love the online business because it's something that you can do on the side. You don't have to work on it every single day. You can take off a day or two, a weekend, a week. I mean, there were times where I would take a few days off, and there's one time in particular I took 2 weeks off from the business. There was something else that happened, but nonetheless, like, I took 2 weeks off, and guess what? The business didn't go anywhere. I didn't get any nasty letters from Google saying, hey, where did you go? Like, you need to start working on your blog right now, otherwise we're gonna shut you down. Like, they don't care. The hosting company doesn't care because you're still paying for your monthly hosting. So if you need a break, if there's other things that you have to tend to, whether it be with your current job, with your family, you can do it. And then you can pick up right where you left. And that's what I love about starting an online business. The last one, and this one, gosh, this is the one that I know, just because I had so many advisors when I would hear their stories about their clients coming to them with these ideas. I mean, most of the time they're just like, I don't know about that. I don't know if that's a good idea. But I would never hear any advisor recommend that they need to try real estate or invest some of their money into real estate. Now, don't get me wrong. If there was a real estate ETF that they could purchase, if there was a closed-end fund that offered real estate, I mean, if there was something that they could sell, that was packaged as a real estate investment to either earn a commission or still have it under their assets under management, like yes, then they would recommend it, then they would suggest it. But if a client came to them and said, hey, I have this opportunity to invest into this duplex or this condo or flip this house, and they want to take money out of their investment accounts. I just saw every advisor, and there are several in this situation, where they would look at their client with skepticism, like, are you sure you know what you're doing? And I would say most of the advisors that I worked with and that I associated with didn't have any real estate property. Most of their investments were tied up into mutual funds and ETFs and individual stocks. So it was something that they just weren't familiar with. And I can think of maybe one. I know that my CPA, he had a lot of real estate. He had rental properties. He was flipping homes. He developed a few different neighborhoods. So he was definitely very passionate and also saw how having real estate, investing into real estate can and will build your wealth if you know what you're doing and you do it right. But it's just not real estate that they would have this response to. It could be a new business venture, investing into this business. It could be investing into an alternative investment like peer-to-peer lending or cryptocurrency. Basically, if it was something that a product or an investment that was not offered through them by their firm or whatever outfit they were using to custody their assets, then it was off the table. Like, that is not a good option. But since you're a subscriber to the podcast and also the YouTube channel, you understand if you want to become a wealth hacker, yes, you can build wealth. You can get rich. You can make money investing that $50 to $100 a month into a Roth IRA. Like, that is a necessary and crucial first step. But if you truly want to build wealth, especially at an accelerated rate, then you've got to do something different. You have to invest beyond the mutual funds, beyond the S&P 500, beyond what your financial advisor can sell you, what they can recommend. There are a ton of investments, a ton of different investment strategies that do not exist within the financial services umbrella. It is a very tight and closed box, very closed-minded as well. If you get outside of that, you start seeing entrepreneurs, really wealthy and knowledgeable investors that know what they are doing and they are making a ton of money. So I'm curious, if you are working with a financial advisor or if you've talked with an advisor, are you hearing some of the same stuff that I've shared today? Have you had an investment idea on something that they couldn't offer and they gave you every reason in the book that is not a good idea? Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. Really appreciate all you that have subscribed to the Wealth Hacker channel. And if you haven't smashed that like button, it's not too late. That smash button can get liked. It's free. It also helps to get the message out there for other people that need to hear what's going on here at the Wealth Hacker channel. All right, y'all, this is Jeff Rose reminding you that it's your money, it's your life, and only you can make it awesome. Until next time, peace.